So for those of you who didn't, if you weren't here for the last episode, we did a whole lore lesson on, and then a lot of you, for those of you who are just joining us here on the live show, what we do is we do a lore lesson, whole lore lesson video, and then the next week we do a, what we're now calling Cash.
The lore, break it down.
Oh, wow.
Was that?
What?
That was
I
a terrible
Rage Against the
delivery.
Machine. Oh, man.
I thought I was in a wrestling show. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, right? Me too. So anyway, lore breakdown. So this week is a lore breakdown. The lore lesson we're going to be talking about is on the blue elixir. You can read this if you want to, or you can watch the video over at youtube.com/LoreSeekersCast, or you can go to LoreSeekersCast.com and read it. But anyway, the blue elixir, Azoth. It's pretty cool when you consider something like this being built into the game, that it's pretty much like one of the main sources of power in Aeternum, because it's like living. To me, whenever we talk about this and you see it in the world, to me, as a old school Star Wars fan, I think of midichlorians immediately.
Oh, nice pull.
You know what I mean? So it's, you know, to me, this doesn't feel like a stretch at all or some brand new thing. This just feels like an extension of something I've already loved, and I love this even more. So, you know, Azoth being the mysterious element that travelers seem to seek in Aeternum. You know, that's one of the main reasons why so many of them came, why so many of those notes that are written, if you go and read the lore, and I encourage you, that's why we love this game so much. You're really seeking the lore. You're learning about the passions that these people had, the desires, whether good or bad. You know, they're there. And
Dude,
it's
I just
real.
got excited like a freaking 5-year-old when you said that. It's like,
And, you know...
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And the fact that actually Azoth itself was, you know, a real element in our history. And, you know, a lot of it has to do with Mercury in the real world. And, you know, how it was used how this is used in New World, a lot of you already know. If you don't know, we'll tell you. So the lore behind it is that it's the reason characters can be resurrected after death. The Azoth infused into the island brings you back to life and life again, repeatedly, over and over and over. It's used as a form of currency. That's a big deal. It's a crafting reagent. You know, you can use this to empower your crafting stations, enhancing bonuses, weapon talents. You can use this to reset or respec your talents. And then, of course, fast travel, which I know a lot of us did in the game. But just the idea that this premise is in the game, from a lore standpoint, just like we were talking about just a minute ago, you know, with all these cultures, they can really push the boundaries, you know, with Azoth.
It excites me greatly that this is the lore-centric reason for your character to die over and over again, like mine personally will in PvP.
Yeah.
It just, you are resurrected again. They've tied it into the lore of Isabella.
Yeah.
Like, in order to get compliance from her troops, Isabella will freaking take you into the water and drown your ass. And then you resurrect, and she'll be like, "Do you get it now?"
Yeah, right.
They're like, "We got it. It's okay."
Point made. Point made.
Yeah, I get it. It's like she's freaking waterboarding these poor people.
Yep.
And they end up following her. But I love how they've added that in as to the way that you can resurrect in the game. And I think for any game, that's super important to have some lore centric reason for you to die and resurrect again. It's brilliant.
Instead of just doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Instead of just doing it, right?
Right.
Tying that in, which is one of the core things, because your character's gonna die in the game. I mean, you're gonna have those moments.
Right.
And the fact that they tied in the lore to that, to make points of it, to make a purpose for it. Again, anybody that says there's no lore in this game, do you need glasses? Do you need me to help you? Loreseeker. It's in the title. We'll help you seek it. I'm just saying, it's ridiculous to see that be said on Reddit or I just don't understand it, but it is what it is.
Right. Just got to get out there and look, because it's there. Right. It's deep. That's one of the best things. It's like, you know, when we came over from ESO, we'll say it often. It's like I feel like there's no better game for Loreseekers, because you really are seeking the lore, 100%, in its truest fashion. So.
And getting back to the Azoth, if you think about Azoth in game, right? So how do you get it? You get it from completing quests. killing animals, enemies, whatever in the game, and particularly ones that have like a blue like hue around, like the last dragon. You remember the last dragon?
Yeah. Oh
What
man,
was his name? Show enough. What was his name? Show enough. Who's the master? Show enough. I mean, he would just put him hands up like this.
Yeah.
Cash, you remember when we went to Dragon Con, there was a guy who was dressed up as Sure Enough. I saw that picture today. It came up in my memories today.
Rob, you were there.
Rob, you were there. Don't finish that. Before Mike takes us down, before Cash takes us down a road we don't want to go.
That's what I do.
Lore pages in the game refer to Azoth and its uses as well. Footprints in the sand are infused with a blue glow, and it indicates Azoth is seeping from the ground. It's repurposed for ship lanterns, and now glowing with blue, lighting the path inland from the shipwreck beaches. And you'll notice that as you come into the island and stuff, you'll notice these lanterns, and they're being basically they're burning the Azoth in those as a blue. So pretty neat how you get it in game, and you get it from defeating your enemy.
Right.
And completing tasks that are given to you on the island. So it's a really neat way to tie it into the gameplay and to make it make sense, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Especially because that is one of the main reasons why we're here, why we're going there is the Azoth, and is it that elixir of life? And when I started researching for the lore lesson, I was absolutely blown away that Azoth was actually a real thing in the real world. Now, granted, it comes from more of a philosophical perspective. Back during way back, like even like Egyptian times, we're talking BC era. But alchemists back then kind of worked more off of a philosophy as opposed to actual science. Like when you compare alchemy to nowadays, it's much more scientific based, but back then it was kind of from a philosophical perspective. But it kind of started in the Age of Discovery, where alchemists were searching for the elixir of life. They literally were searching for things to cure diseases, and they were working a lot with metals in order to find this perfect element that was able to transform regular metals into things like silver and gold. They kind of tied it all into what they called back then the Philosopher's Stone. It kind of became synonymous with this whole element that alchemists were searching for.
Right.
Well, one of the things, just like Jibbs had mentioned, one of the things that they did find was that Mercury had a lot of these elements, had a lot of these characteristics they were looking for in this type of transformative elixir. So they first found that actually in Egyptian tombs way back, like 1500 BC time is when they found that. And then it kind of transformed into Mercury being like this elixir of life that helped to prolong life. It helped to heal injuries, maintain general good health, which to me is freaking amazing because Mercury nowadays will freaking kill you.
Right.
Like, what? Mercury, like I've always been told that don't touch it.
Right.
If you bring a thermometer, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't. And then you're freaking playing with it with your finger, like flapping it around the ground. But during that time, during this Age of Discovery, Mercury represented perfection, enlightenment, and what they considered was heavenly bliss. But what they called it, what the alchemists called it, was based off of a Latin term, Azoth, which was Arabic for Mercury. And that's where Azoth was derived from. So folks, like, this is a real thing. And this is why it's so exciting that Amazon Game Studios has drawn from our history. I freaking flipped out when I saw it, when I was researching. I was like, I'm just going to use the Google box. I'm going to type in Azoth. And there's a freaking wiki page on it. And I was like, no freaking way. And then there I go. I'm in a freaking deep hole looking at all the things freaking Azoth. But
that's so cool.
It's awesome. And it became this philosophical thing back in the day as they were looking for something to embody their medicines, this animating energy in the body.
Right.
And that's what Azoth became. It became like this elixir of physical and spiritual perfection.
That's
And
really cool.
it's freaking unbelievable.
It's really
that, like,
cool.
That is what we're looking for.
There's so many layers to the lore in this game. So many layers, and you know, again, it comes back to how they weave in real history, you know, and it just makes it that much. To me, it makes it infinitely more engrossing and entertaining. Like, I just want to just devour all of it because there's so much of it. There's
Like
so
we
much.
talked about, right? Like we talked about, I am part of this story.
Yes.
Things
Yeah.
I've learned my whole life, I'm part of the story.
Yeah.
And because I'm going to throw something out here. K-Champ, that's my wife. She has never played a video game in her entire life, ever.
Yeah.
She's older than me. I'm going to leave it at that.
She don't look older than you.
I know, dude. She's so gorgeous. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I got money.
You
I
rolled
guess.
a 20.
Right. I rolled a natural 20. But I bought her a computer tonight.
That's
And
so
she's
cool.
gonna play New World with us simply because of what she's seen us do. When she saw us running around with the company doing those company missions, when she watched, you know, me streaming it, going, "This game is beautiful. This game sounds great." I have someone I've been trying to get play a video game my entire adult life, and now she's gonna play because of New World. So. New World is my jam, bro. I will stand right here and preach how badass New World is for the end of time, because I'm telling you what, to get my wife to want to buy a computer and a desk and get a computer chair and sit next to me and enjoy this game with me, this world that I'm going to go into, that is amazing to me.
Yep.
And that's something New World brought to me, and that's why I'm all in, boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
all
100%.
in.
I'll be the first to tell you, I'm gonna be ecstatic when my wife and I can both sit in bed with 2 Steam Decks, both play New World together. That right there is gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that.
So awesome, man. So awesome.
I'm pretty sure if I asked my wife to play a video game with me and leave her workshop where she makes her crafts and stuff, I think she'd split my face. I'm pretty sure she'd punch me right in the mouth. But yeah, I think that's great. No, I can't wait to play with both your wives. And yes, I just said that. Whoops.
Well,
We're gonna write down that time frame for another short on YouTube right there. That's 156.
My
I want to tie this Azoth thing down just real quick, and I do want to mention Zytheria, who's in chat, and Zytheria she's one of our Loreseekers, and she actually is a real world historian, friends, and she's really been helping to decipher a lot of this stuff. And I just saw a quick mention from her. She just says in chat, "I am so excited," and it makes me happy to see her say that too, because we've talked so much about the lore and stuff. And Champ, I want to blow your mind just real quick. Couple closing things here about Azoth in the world. Number one, Azoth ties in the real world Azoth, this Azoth that we are seeking as explorers going to Eternum, ties into the game even further with the ancients, as they believe that the ancients' experiments with Azoth is what caused the corruption, which is what we are going to cover next week. But you talked about Greek mythology. Let me drop this one in here real quick. One of the real world symbols for the medical profession is the caduceus symbol. I'm sure you've all seen that symbol. It's basically a staff with 2 wings on it, and it is encircled by 2 serpents. That caduceus symbol, tied to modern day medicine, is what was used to represent this Azoth element
Oh my
years
God.
ago. And that is straight from Greek mythology. What that is.
How cool
Now,
is that?
That staff was said to have been carried by Hermes, who would usher people into the realm of death.
Yep.
How cool is that? That's in this game, and it's in the way it's woven in this game. Oh my
Yes.
God.
I know. And you guys,
Oh.
we are scratching the surface on the depth that they can take this lore.
Hold on. Red says, okay, guys, it's not like Mercury. Just broke a thermometer open and tried to fast travel. Didn't work. Big mess.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Red Chunk, you are the MVP of the night.
Well played, sir. My hat
well
off
played.
to you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, gentlemen. Well, this was
Yeah.
fun.
Yes.
This was a lot of fun.